founder and executive director of Crafting Change, and today we are going to sew the Crafting Change Super Tote. It's for when you need something made with a little bit heavier fabrics, and this is just the thing. So let's get started. Here are the supplies you're going to need for this project. You're going to need a heavier weight fabric for the outside of the bag, along with a contrasting piece of fabric for the bottom of the bag. You also need typical sewing supplies like rulers, scissors, pins, clips, something to mark your fabric with, and nice denim needles like these 116s and your choice of thread. And you need two 42-inch long straps. Today we'll be using 1-inch heavy cotton webbing from our friends at Country Brook Design. To finish your project, bias tape is an optional way you can finish it if you don't want to try French seams or use your serger. Okay, the first step is to take our 19 by 17 contrast base of our bag on our two long sides. We're going to iron over 5/8 of an inch. Now, the other great way to do this, and I've already marked it off, if you double the amount you need to fold over, 5/8, that gives you a 1 1/4 inch. And if you take your straight edge ruler and you draw at 1 1/4, then all I have to do now is fold over to where I have drawn that line, and I will have my 5/8 inch fold over. All right, as we move on to the next step of the pattern, I'm really going to encourage you to print out a hard copy of the pattern that we have online, because you're really going to want to have this awesome diagram that Kathy has drawn for us. So right now I have my main piece of fabric laid out. This is my 19-inch edge here, and this is my long piece running all the way down here, my 40 edge, and then my other short end is right here, going just out of frame. So the first thing that we need to do, we want to have our right side facing up. Kind of unusual to be doing that, I know. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to trace some lines on this fabric on the right side. So what we're going to do is we're going to measure down 12 1/2 inches from the short edge down. So we're going to measure 12 1/2 inches. Use whatever measuring implement you like. I've measured 12 1/2 inches down using my ruler, and I know that based on my cutting mat that I have below, that I'm going to cut here on my 22 1/2 inch mark. So I'm going to put a little chalk line right here, and then I'm going to look across here, and I'm going to put the same one right there. And then I'm going to get a really big straight edge. If you have one, it makes it a lot easier. And I'm just going to draw here. If you don't have a big straight edge, you can just take your small ruler and go down 12 1/2 inches and just put marks across and do it the same way. Okay, I flip my fabric around, and we're going to do the exact same thing to the other side. Okay, the next step is to measure in 5 inches from our long side in, and this is going to be where we're going to lay our straps, right here, going up. And so what I'm going to do is, I have a little shortcut here. I figured out that this is actually the cardboard from inside of the double fold bias tape. And so I love little hacks like this. So this is actually exactly 5 inches long. And so I use this whenever I have to measure things that are 5 inches. So I actually am going to lay this right here, and I'm going to mark my 5 inches like this. All right, the next step is to take the top of the bag, which are our short ends, and on each short end, we're going to turn it over 5/8 of an inch, and then turn it over again, another 5/8 of an inch, and then we're going to sew it down using a 3.0 stitch length on our sewing machine. Okay, we've returned from our sewing machine and we've done both short ends. We've hemmed the top of our bag now, and now it's time to attach our straps. We're going to take our 1-inch cotton webbing, and you're going to need two 42-inch pieces, and we're going to attach it where we have drawn this line. And so we're going to go ahead and just kind of lay it first, and you want to make sure you don't have any twists in it, and kind of just set it like that. And then you're going to want to go over your long line here, that's your 12.5-inch line, and overlap it by about an inch, and just make sure you do it the same on all 4 spots. You're going to do this. And then how I like to lay my strap out is I like to go down the middle of the line all the way up, and then you're just going to drop a few pins in. And then take it over to your sewing machine once you have done the straps on both sides of your bag, and you're going to go ahead and just sew up both sides of the strap, back tack here a few times, and then go right back down the other side. Alright, we've sewn our straps down. Now we're going to add the contrasting bottom by finding the middle point and lining it up with the middle and the bottom of the bag. And now we're going to make sure that we are covering up the bottom of our straps. And the edge of your bottom should really line up nicely with those 12.5-inch lines that we drew earlier. And then you're going to go ahead and pin this down. And once you have it all pinned down, you're going to sew down both sides along those edges. So today we're going to put in a French seam. So we're going to sew a 1/8 inch seam along both sides of the bag. So when you do that, you're going to do it with wrong sides together, the pretty side out. Turn your bag right side out, I guess wrong side out in this case. And really we want to just make sure this is rolled out really good. And then we're going to put another seam right down here, just like this, trapping what we just did inside. All right, we've done our French seams here, or you've done your serger seams, or you've done the bias tape. And then the last thing we have to do is add our box corner bottoms. So you're going to get your corner all poked out from your bag. So put your hand in there and make sure you get all the layers and make a nice little kind of triangle like that. And then get it to kind of lay flat. And my other one is already cooperating here, and you can kind of see you've got the line from the bottom of the bag. You've got both of them ready to go. You're going to measure up from the point of your triangle up each side 3 inches. And then you're going to put a mark and then go up this side 3 inches. And you're going to put a mark. And then you're going to connect those two like this and just go straight across. If you happen to have a little triangle ruler like this, I have added some painter's tape here, and I have it already made for the 3-inch square. So all I have to do is put the corner of my triangle like this, right like that, and draw across. And it's going to be the perfect every time. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this over to our sewing machine, and you're going to sew right across this line. It is always an option to tack these corners down inside in your bag, but it's also fine just to let them fly. Okay, if you want to tack down the corners after you've boxed them, here's a great way to do it. So as you can see right here, we have got all of this bulk from our front seam. You do not want to try to tack down right here on the point. So I'm going to tack down here off center in this part that just has a couple layers of fabric. I'm just going to drop my needle there, and then I'm going to do basically like how I would attach a button. So my needle's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to go back and forth in place to tack it down. And that's it. All right, as a fun added bonus today, we get to put in our inaugural new Made with Love crafting change tag that we're going to start putting in the things that we make. So let's get the first one put in right now. Look at that. All right, we are done. How'd you do? We have our crafting change super tote completed. This tote is fabulous, and we have a lot of charity partners looking for a tote that is heavy and sturdy, just like that, made from canvases, upholstery fabrics, or denim. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and you have gone from crafter to craftivist. We'll see you soon.